Alright everyone, tonight sort of a cool video. It's in three parts. I'll be featuring 4 guns, and this is sort of a special video. I met someone talking like on a YouTube comment section, a guy from Spain named Marc. Real cool dude. We have similar hobby interests, and I'm making this video in part for him. So what's up, Marc? Marc lives in Spain, and this video has a pretty cool Spanish flavor in it. So I'll get started with the 2 non-Spanish firearms here. What we have here is a WBP Polish Lynx classic pistol. This is produced by WBP in Poland, like I said. Here's just a 30 round WBP magazine shooting 7.62 by 39. So you can see that. Really nice mags. So what I've started doing to this is sort of customizing this. I'll start up at the front. This is imported from Poland with this muzzle nut that's kind of tack welded on lightly. So what I'm going to do, the barrel underneath this muzzle nut at the end here, this portion, is not threaded. So I have a AK-74 style brake I'm going to be putting on there, but in order to do that I have to put this thing screws on to the end of the barrel. So what I have to do is cut this nut off carefully, and I have a threading tool that is 14 by 1 left hand, and I will thread the end of the barrel. I'll cut screw threads basically onto the end of this so that I can accept this AK-74 style muzzle brake, and it'll you can kind of get a feel for how that looks. Pretty sweet. This is sort of a chunk of a muzzle brake, and I hope it'll help me control my recoil, because 7.62 by 39 out of a short barrel is pretty violent, and these are really nice on the ends of regular, rifles with 16-inch barrels. So, this has the 2 vent holes at the top to keep your muzzle from rising, and it has the 2, huge holes on the sides to help keep your rifle centered. Slightly angled backwards on the back of it, but really nice muzzle brake. But I'll be threading this and putting that on it. This comes with the detent behind this nut anyways. So another thing, I'll flip this sideways. I have an WBP advanced safety selector lever. So basically it has this, you can see it right there. Normal AK safety selectors just have a tab out here, and you have to actually manipulate your hand out to grab the end of it and flip the safety selector down. This just has, let's see if I can do it with one hand here. I can just move it with my index finger, so I don't have to take my hand out like that. I can just put the safety up and down with my index finger. So you can see how nice that is. That's a really nice feature, and this is a Polish part, so this is, still an all Polish gun, except for the brake will be an American gun, or American part, but whatever. And then another thing I've done is I've added a U.S. machine gun buffer tube adapter for this pistol, because in the United States pistols cannot have butt stocks, and because this is considered a pistol, I know it's a rifle caliber pistol, but it's still a pistol. I'm limited to putting either a sling on it or a brace. So I can have a pistol brace, which will, if you've seen an AR-15, just thread a buffer tube in there off an AR-15 and put a CAC shockwave blade on there, and that's what I plan to do. So I don't have the blade here, but sorry if my camera's going out of focus, but yeah, so I'll get a shockwave blade for the back of that, 74 style brake up front, and maybe in the future hang a flashlight off this top rail here. So yeah, you can see the Polish eagle right there on the rear sight block. Pretty cool. So yeah, very excited about this pistol. And I have a East German sling I'll be putting on here. just because East German stuff is really nice. Nice chrome. Nothing's rusted or anything, so it's really nice condition. So yeah, that's that. And then there's the pistol with a drum on it, because who doesn't like short-barreled guns with 75-round drums on it? Alright, and this is my second gun in this video. It's a Wasr, Romanian Wasr, Wasr10 arrangement, 7.62 by 39 AKM. These are pretty much the most common imported AKs in the country. These are from Romania. They're really nice quality. I know a lot of people say they're really crude, but I don't agree with that. They have really nice barrels, coal hammer forged, chrome lined barrels, so you could shoot all sorts of ammunition through it and not have to worry about it. So I'll just explain what I've done to this. This has a Tapco sort of birdcage style flash, I guess it's a flash hider. It's sort of just a muzzle brake flash hider. It really is nice. I shot this, I know in my last video I said I shot it at 150 yards, but it was 50 yards. I misspoke. I know that's a pretty big difference, but I apologize. So it was 50 yards, very low light conditions. The sun was going down and we couldn't hardly see anything, but there was hardly any flash coming off this, so I wasn't blinded. I was able to get, follow-up shots fairly easily. All this does, it removes the flash and makes these little red pencil lines in the air that don't hurt your eyes. So that's pretty cool. I can hang a bayonet off it if I want. I've added a M-Lock Magpul AKM handguard, so I can still have my sling, sling attached right there. But I can put a flashlight on my handguard and click it with my thumb if I want. That's pretty cool. I recommend to anybody who has a rifle, always put a flashlight on your rifle. And if you got a pistol that has a rail for it, put a flashlight on your pistols, because if you have to use this in the night, you need to be able to see what you're shooting at. Speaking of that, I have an aperture sight. So normal AKs, they don't have a rear sight that looks like that. They have basically a bar that sticks up, and it has a cut in the back of it. It's called a leaf sight. And this is a GG&G aperture sight. It's ranged for 1,000 meters, which is pretty ridiculous for an AK. Usually AK's effective range is around 400 to 400 meters. Realistically, you can get accurate shots, and then 600 is pushing it. So up to 600 meters, you can still hit stuff pretty effectively with these kinds of weapons. But I wanted to get an aperture sight because it's just like AR-15 sights. Really easy to pick stuff up, and your field of vision isn't as blocked out as if you had a standard leaf sight. And this is my battle rifle, so I wanted that to be able to see easily. I have the same WBP advanced safety selector, so I can flip this. It's got a tab right here that I can use to manipulate with my trigger finger, and without having to push my whole hand off my grip. So that's pretty cool. Speaking of the grip, this is a Russian Molot Vepr RPK grip. This is what the Russian military uses for their RPK hand grips. It's pretty big and beefy because the RPK is a kind of a big gun, so they need a bigger, fatter grip. It's got nice finger grooves, so I can get a good purchase on this. And so with the flashlight up here, this gun can get kind of heavy up front, so this affords me a lot of purchase to grab and use this gun one-handed. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, it's just a regular old AK. I painted this myself so that I could blend into my surroundings. With the plum handguard, it doesn't really, I'll probably put some stripes on here or something, but I kind of like the dark, dark portions of it. Like I said, I'll put a flashlight on these M-Lock sections. So that's this Wasr10, and pretty happy with it so far. I'll keep you updated on this. Alright, and then this is for you, Mark. This is a set of Star pistols from Spain. This was what the Spanish police tended to carry. It's a 9mm single stack, single action pistol, sort of styled after the 1911, kind of a mix of the 1911 and the Browning High Power. So let's take a look at these. First we'll look at the boxes. This is sort of my more beat up box. This is how it came into the country. Pistola Star Calibra 9mm Parabellum. So you can see the front of that. I don't speak Spanish, so I'll butcher anything I try and read. Sorry, man. And here's the import sticker. Came in like this. Again, these were produced from like, I think the late 60s up to the 80s, or earlier or later. I don't know the exact dates of when these were produced, but these were, you know, Cold War era pistols. But it's really nice to get an imported firearm that was used by a police force or a military that actually has its original boxes. For collectors like me, it's really, really important to have the boxes or any kind of manuals or whatever you can get to go along with your firearms. I'm very careful about my new production firearms, keeping the boxes with them, or the manuals or whatever, because I know someday when I'm an old guy and I want to pass it down to my kids or sell them or whatever, they'll have the collector value. So these are really, really nice. Here's my better looking box. We'll focus on this box here. So open it up. You can read the inside of there, Mark. Here's the manual it comes with. Each of these came with a manual, a cleaning rod, one magazine, and the firearm. So we'll focus on these here in a sec, but here's your cleaning rod. It's pretty cool. It's got a slot there so you can put wipes and run your patches and run your cleaning patches into your gun. It has a screwdriver tip. Man, my camera won't focus, but basically the tip of that is a flathead screwdriver to remove your grip panels, and then you can just hang this on something if you got a workbench or whatever. Really nice cleaning rod, steel, very thick. So yeah, we'll put that back in here. Your pistol would sit in here and the magazine would come in here. These came with one pistol, and this is the magazine disconnect. I took these out of both of my pistols. Basically what this is, the way the pistol comes, you cannot remove your magazine without stripping it with your secondary hand. So your primary hand is shooting the gun. Your secondary hand has to remove the magazines because they don't drop out all the way. With this removed, you can shoot one-handed and drop the magazine all the way out of the gun, and it won't get stuck in your magazine well. These were sort of a thing that militaries and police did, so guys weren't losing their magazines in the heat of combat or whatever. I think it's kind of a hindrance, so what I've decided to do is just take it out and keep it in a box. That way I still have it. If I want to put it back in, it's very simple to put back in, but that's the box. Here's the manual. We'll sort of focus on this manual because these manuals are incredible. Star did a really good job with these manuals. Every image in this manual is illustrated. It's not photographed. So obviously this one is an illustration, but so there are some in there that are really, really convincing pencil drawings. So this is the front of it. You could probably read that in Spanish. Here's the, it's a Star BM chambered in 9mm. Star Bonifacio Echeverria or whatever. Dude, I don't speak Spanish, so forgive me. Here's the plant that this was made at. Pretty cool image of the factory. Here's the image of the gun. course, everything's in Spanish. But this is a hand-drawn illustration. It's not a photograph. Cool. Look through. You obviously have your disassembly, all the parts blown out of the gun, numbered, and everything. So there's that magazine disconnect I was showing you. That goes in the grip and prevents your magazines from popping all the way out and dropping out. You have to remove it with your other hand, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So yeah, here's the table of contents. This tells all of your, it's not the table of contents, sorry, these are all the numbers corresponding to all these parts. Sorry if my hand's shaking, I'm not trying to be too shaky here, but this is sort of a illustration of how the firearms works. Your magazine's filled up with rounds. Your hammer is pulled back, and then you pull the trigger, hits a striker, the hammer hits a striker, striker fires the gun, and the slide reciprocates from the blowback and pushes your hammer into the cock position like that. So this hammer goes up, click, bang, fires the bullet. The slide resets the hammer, and you're back to business. It is a single action pistol, so a double action pistol, you can just pull the trigger and the hammer will move on its own. With a single action, the hammer has to be manipulated manually, and then you can fire it. So that's here's more Spanish writing. So here's some of those illustrations I was talking about. These are not photographs. These are hand-drawn images, which is insane. I mean, these look like photographs, but they're not. So you can, it's got some information here. You can pause this and look at what it says, but here's how you take it down. So even though this looks like a photograph, these are drawn, pencil-drawn hands and firearms. It's really, really impressive illustrations. So you got your takedown lever, and then the slide pulls out, and it tells you, tells you a description of everything you need to know. And then how to take the recoil spring out, and the barrel, how to pull it out, because it's got a barrel link in it that you gotta be mindful of right there. Just really impressive imagery. Somebody's married. But that's the end of the book. There's the all the different specifications and stuff, and of course Star's logo. Star are no longer in business. They were around, I think, before or during World War I, and they provide the Spanish military and I believe some other militaries with really high quality firearms. Some not so high quality, but quite a few that were pretty good. And this is sort of their Cold War era 9mm 1911 high power thing. Really cool. So I'll put this aside. And here are the two guns. This is what they look like. So I have medium-sized hands. I'm not a large guy, but I'm not a small guy. So my hands are about normal size. So you can see, compared to my hand, how large the pistol is. These were carried by police officers in Spain. So here's my first one. This was produced in 1979. It has the arsenal or police insignia that has been milled off for import purposes. So those two circles there, those are mill marks from where they had to remove the some kind of stamp or emblem. The trigger, the extractor, and the hammer are all case hardened with like kind of a rainbow color. It's really cool. So you can see you got your manual levers here for your safety. So this is a thumb safety. So you manipulate your safety like that. This is your takedown lever right there. So when you're disassembling the firearm, this is a crucial component. This also locks your slide back. So when you, I'll show you in a sec, but this is a key part of your firearm. Magazine well. Let's see, it says BM right there. If it'll focus. It says BM. The sights are kind of. Here's a sight picture. So, kind of crude but effective. I've shot this and it's very, very nice to shoot. Here's some of the markings on the slide. That cleaning rod can disassemble these flathead screws. And on my pistol, I have all of the original flathead screws. Some of the surplus pistols you get, they don't have the grip screws in them, so it's really nice to have everything all together. These were well taken care of by the Spanish police. I'll go ahead and cock this and show you what it looks like. Alright, so this is cocked. You can see the hammer is case hardened, and I'll go ahead and reset the. So with these old firearms, you don't want to just pull the trigger with the hammer down. It could damage the firing pin. And I'll pull the slide back and show you what it looks like now. So this is that slide catch. Slide release is also the takedown lever. So you can see my safety won't work here, but this is what it looks like when you have to reload the pistol. So the magazine fits in the bottom here, and you can just flip that down and you have a round chambered. This slide will move forward and it will pick up a round inside your magazine, or front, it'll strip a round out of your magazine as the slide shoves forward. See if I can do it here. There you go. And now it's ready to fire. I just put it on safe. And now the hammer will not move. So yeah, really cool. So a single action pistol means you cannot just press the trigger and have the hammer move on its own. With hammer fired guns, you have single action, double action, or double action single actions. This is just a single action only. So this means you have to manipulate this hammer down, fire the gun, the slide will reciprocate backwards and forward, resetting the hammer for the next shot. That's how single action pistols work, basically. So there's the import markings right there. New serial number, old serial number. So this was the Spanish serial number there. And like I said, 1979. The date of production on this one. And I'll set that one aside. Here's my second one. These do have a little bit of holster wear, so these were blued. These grips and slides are all steel. Really nice, kind of good weight to them. All steel construction, so shooting 9mm out of these is really nice. They don't have bad recoil. These are very sort of small pistols, so they're easy to use. But this one's really nice. This has a magazine in it, so I'll show you. With the magazine disconnect in it, the magazine will only pop out that far out of the bottom of the gun. So with the magazine disconnect out of it, I can just drop the mag out one-handed. I'll show you I'll show you that again here in a sec. So with a mag in the grip, the slide holds open on the last round, empty mag. So I would be shooting, bang, 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 click, empty, the slide is back, drop my mag out, put a new one in. So so that's ready to go. Really nice pistols. The Spanish really did have a good sidearm for their police. Here's what these magazines look like. These hold 8 rounds in the magazine itself, and then you can carry it with 1 in the chamber, so that's a total of 9 rounds of 9mm at hand. And of course, seeing as these are no longer made, I needed to pick up a whole bunch of magazines. So I have, you know, for each of my pistols, I think I have 5 magazines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I have 4 magazines. So 4 for each gun, basically. So if I split it up, 1 gun, the other gun. So yeah, it's always nice to have extra mags, or I can use one of my guns, and then if it breaks down, I can cannibalize my other gun, but I probably won't do that. These are just nice collector's pieces. They're still fun to shoot, but I probably won't be shooting them all that much just to keep them nice. So yeah, that's sort of how those look. And I hope you enjoyed this, Mark, wherever you are in Spain. I don't know what your police use now for their sidearms, but you really can't do much better than this. This is pretty cool. I mean, you can, but you know, these are really nice, nice firearms. So, yeah, hope everybody enjoyed these 4 guns. Sorry if I rambled a lot, but yeah, I hope everybody has a great evening, and thanks for watching. Bye.